Mr. Saab, as you know, the Commonwealth held a motion for detention under 27658A. My intention in surveillance today would be I'll hear the Commonwealth under the right to probable cause for the arrest for the offense charged today, unassault with intent to murder and home invasion. If I find probable cause for the arrest, I'm required to detain him pending a hearing to defer issues of bail, detention, etc. After a hearing on that motion, any objection to that?
No problem.
Okay. Mr. Cronin, on the issue of probable cause to arrest the defendant in this matter. Mr. Saab, are you going to follow appearance on the probation matter as well? Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Cronin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth is filing a motion under 58 detention in this case based upon the defendant's charge of 58 elder crime enumerated in the complaint. With regards to that motion, Commonwealth submits that there is probable cause for that charge. Significantly, Judge, the facts of the case are thus. On January 28, 2010, officers of the Lowell Police Department were dispatched to a priority 1 call at 494 Bridge Street to report a gunshot victim. Upon arrival, the officer who responded met the alleged victim, Christopher Diolio, who had one visible gunshot wound to his left thigh. He had stated that he was on the second floor of Gray Blue House on West 5th Street when an argument broke out between a male and female. And at some point, a white male with blonde hair wearing black clothing pulled out a firearm and shot him. The victim stated that the suspect was accompanied by a Spanish male. Diolio fled the scene to get help and claimed not to know any names of the involved parties. Continuing the investigation, another officer was dispatched to Lowell General Hospital some time later to stand by with Mr. Diolio following the report that he had made. Upon speaking to him, Mr. Diolio stated there was also a male at the scene with his knife. When asked what took place, he stated that he was on the second floor at his friend's house at 587 Lakeview Ave, the second floor. His friend and his friend's girlfriend were having an argument. When his friend told him to leave, he did, and then a short time later, he received a call back from his friend who stated that he was back over. His friend told him the pizza downstairs had been robbed, and they thought that he did it. Mr. Diolio stated he denied the robbery, but then when he went back to residence, 2 males came into the second floor apartment. One had a gun, and that person he described as a white male in his mid-20s, 5'6", wearing black hoodie and black jeans, and that individual pulled out a gun and put it to his face. He pushed the white male away. A second male he described as a Hispanic male with his face partially covered by a mask, pulled out a knife. At that time, the white male shot him in the leg and fled the apartment. Just continuing the investigation, the Lowell Police Department later that day responded to 45 West 5th Street with a report of shooting. There was a gunshot victim in the parking lot of the Desmond's Free store that was identified as Mr. Diolio. Detectives on scene with the victim took photos of the gunshot wound to his left thigh. This was actually prior to when he was transported to Lowell General Hospital, and before he was then further transported to another hospital in Boston. There were 4 witnesses standing outside 45 West 5th Street, all of whom provided similar accounts of the incident. Based upon the statements that police were able to construct, that the victims and the victim, Mr. Diolio, and the witnesses were in the living room on that second floor watching TV when a witness, Debbie Pazel, decided to leave. She was confronted by 2 male suspects on the bottom floor. One was carrying a crowbar and the other carrying a small black handgun. The 2 suspects made their way up to the rear stairs that led to the living room, demanding to know where Chris was. They began chasing after Chris. The remaining witnesses, including Megan River, Joanna Rodriguez, and Kristen Dago, exited the residence through the rear door. As these parties were exiting, they could hear things breaking in the locked commotion. All 4 began running away when they heard a single gunshot come from within the house. Megan Rivera was shown a photo array, and she indicated that the photo of David Simard looked like the guy with the crowbar and backpack. The detectives located a single slug inside the bottom right-hand corner of one of the windows in the living room in that apartment as they were taking the photos. They later spoke to Constance Santiago, who stated she had picked up her boyfriend, Ben, and his friend, who named the victim, when they had gone to the apartment at 587 Lakeview, second floor. She had noticed initially that her downstairs neighbor's door was closed and intact. They got into an argument, she and her boyfriend, and when she asked the victim to step outside for a moment, Chris stepped out. She heard the front door open and shut. A short time later, She went downstairs and saw her downstairs neighbor, Chastity, upset and crying. Chastity stated that her apartment had just been broken into, and that some items, including $3,000 of cash, a game system, and some weed had been stolen. Connie observed damage to the door and fresh marks to it as someone had tried it open. When Chastity asked her who was in the house, Connie told her that Chris had been the alleged victim and he was now gone. At that time, Chastity's boyfriend Dave got home and began flipping out. He was upset and punching walls. Connie stated that she called Chris and put him on speakerphone. This David was later identified as Simard. As Connie was on the phone with Chris, she said to him, looking at Chris, why did you do this? Blood victim denied the allegations, and after the phone call ended, Dave continued to flip it out. He was saying things such as, my N-words are on the way, and we'll take care of them. Connie's boyfriend was standing in the doorway.
Excuse me, Ronald, none of this has got anything to do with this. This is very extraneous.
I mean, Mr. Cronin is giving me information that I believe is, yes, twice already indicated some identification of the defendant relating to this offense. I'm going to let him continue. I don't know if we need everything, Mr. Cronin, but I do need the defendant's connection, as you do have now.
Thank you, Judge. At some point, the individual Connie was informed that Dave had taken a gun from the cabinet and was punching and kicking things. He was saying,
Who said that?
this is the individual Dave.
Who said Dave did that?
This is the boyfriend of Connie, who was on, as well as boyfriend. This is all information provided to the police
Directly by those people?
by this is a statement from Connie.
Okay. Her boyfriend that observed the defendant doing this?
Yes, and that boyfriend provided the information about these statements to Connie, and the attorney provided it. At this time, it was referred that Dave was saying that N-word going to get effed up. I know Chris, my cousin shot him before, we'll get him again. At that time, Connie left the apartment with her children and saw two males entering. A short time later, this individual, Dave, informed Connie not to worry. He told her that Chris got shot in the thigh and not to worry because how can you die from being shot in the thigh? He again said that she should not worry and don't say anything to the police. He stated he was going somewhere tomorrow to talk to someone. Judge, the victim was interviewed again and did state that he had left the apartment at some point, had gone to CBS, and he came back and became accused of this incident. At one point, he did notice one of the individuals named Junior on the phone in the apartment, and when that individual left, he came back with another individual later identified as the defendant before you, asked him, where's Chris? They looked at him, they pushed him into the wall. Hispanic male, about 5'6", wearing a gray hoodie, was holding a long knife in his hand, and the victim thought he had a gun as well. The second male, later identified as the defendant before you.
Identified by who?
I'm sorry?
Later identified by who?
By the victim, Judge. He has shown a photo array sometime there.
So you took photo array. He identified this defendant who came in the apartment and with a gun.
Yes. And Judge, this last section I would submit does give in detail the exact actions which this defendant is alleged to have committed in that apartment on that day. He stated the victim, Mr. Giolio, the white male, was holding a black ball handgun in his right hand, pointing it at him. At one point, the Hispanic male tried to put the knife into the person's neck and was able to block it, but he was stabbed in the upper left arm and also received a scratch from being stabbed. He stated the Hispanic male attempted to cut off his right hand index finger, but only sustained minor cuts. The two males were yelling at him, "I'm going to kill you. Where is my shit?"
This has got nothing to do with my point.
I believe it. I believe that, unless I'm wrong, you're telling me that the white male of this pair of people is this defendant?
That's correct, Judge, and the last statement that was made was allegedly made by both of them.
Hold on a minute, Mr. So are you telling me that the victim, Mr. Giolio, identified David Simard as the person with the gun who was shot?
So,
I know there was a photo array, somebody identified it as having one of the people who broke in, I got that already.
Yes, he does later make a photo identification of this David Simard as this individual with the gun who threatened to use that.
This is not what I want.
first of all, I want to put the record, Mr. Simard, please don't give me the most important paragraph of this 5 pages of narrative can be summed up with the first paragraph. The man who shot me has blonde hair. And I submit to you, my client does not have blonde hair. In fact, I've asked for him to step forward, subject to your approval, to examine his no artificial coloring of his hair. The man who did this had blonde hair. This is not my client, and I submit to you this is a case of misidentification. When Mr. Simard was arrested last evening, his mother called the police station to find out what the bail requirement would be. She was told $40, come down with $40, we'll release him. However, the bail wasn't saw differently, and I can understand his concerns. The bottom line is, this case, Your Honor, smells to the high heaven. The man who shot this man has blonde hair, my client does not have blonde hair, and it's a case of misidentification. On the strength of that, Your Honor, I've asked that he be released on personal recognizance.
Well, the issue before me today is whether there was probable cause to arrest the defendant. I find there was probable cause to arrest the defendant. I'm lawyer. The record needs to stop. We already discussed will defer bail. Mentioned issues will have to bring on the motion to stop. I believe we have to have this hearing no later than Tuesday unless you agree to a later date. Okay, we have the hearing on this motion.
Tuesday will be fine.
So it's on, we call to this courtroom at 9 o'clock for a hearing on the motion for pretrial detention.
Your Honor, would you like to make an examination of this?
No, I don't need to do that today. This issue before me today, I find that the problem cause of the division there. Mr. Smart, I do need to tell you that if you charge him,
Quiet, please.
while this case is pending, he could be held in jail for 6 years and will be trial. Tuesday, the 9th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. The hearing fully contained in the hearing.
Ready to lock up.